Hello and welcome to this edition of the Time with Hime podcast. I'm your host, Lynn Cordes, joined by Superintendent Hime for what is our last week in November before Thanksgiving break.
We've been talking about how fast this year is flying by.
It's going quickly, lots of great things, lots of things to celebrate, and lots of things to look forward to.
Yes.
But first, one thing that we're going to look forward to today is a visit from the state superintendent.
The new state superintendent. What a breath of fresh air for teachers, administrators, and students. You know, I've always talked about with state superintendents, I think their job is try to make schools successful. You know, we talk about success, and my job is try to make the people in my office successful so they can make principals successful, so they can make teachers, you know, and right on down to students, because no one is successful unless the students are successful.
Absolutely.
And I think now we got a state superintendent. He's going to be a breath of fresh air. He's saying all the right things. He's supporting our teachers. You know, he's only going to be there for 15, 16, another year and a half. I guess, yeah, it's almost another year because in a year from January, we'll get a new one. But it's exciting to have somebody in that office that's going to support what we're trying to do educationally, be an asset to us, and not somebody trying to hinder us and having all kinds of rhetoric to make it where people don't want to work in this profession.
Well, and then to go with that, we're speaking of the profession. We have something that we're going to share with kids this week with our 8th graders as we talk about academies and pathways, and that's our Academy Quest.
And that's exciting because, you know, we've really worked hard on that in our district, is creating these academies that have pathways in them. And we really try to communicate to parents, this is not something you lock into. It's not something you're tied into, but you know, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, somewhere there, especially when you start to 9th grade, you should be picking that, because what we wanted you to do is start taking classes that make you more aware or give you that feel for what you think you might want to do. Because a lot of times we think we want to be, you know, we've heard rumors that, you know, somebody wants to be a nurse and then all of a sudden they don't like the sight of blood, or they want to be, you know, a welder, but they don't like to get burns on them, you know, whatever, just to truly learn. Some careers look inviting or look like there's something you might want to do or interesting until you really know what that career consists of. And so we're trying to give them more awareness or introduce them to more of those careers so that whenever they graduate from high school and they make that career choice, they're going to be better set to make it. So this is going to be exciting. They're going to come over here
to the LRC, and we've talked about that, just introducing our students to career pathways early enough that they're not doing it so late in their
It's almost like a career fair in a way, because you're going to come around here and look at different careers and you're going to pick, and you know, we know a lot of them are going to change, but more are going to change
it's like
than
college.
don't. Yes,
you know,
change
you've
majors.
figured out.
We know a lot of them are going to change. So
it's going to be fun. And then as we go on, that'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So each school will have their day.
Each middle school gets a
grade.
day, yes.
Yeah, here at the LRC, and they'll get to see what we have here as well.
I'm excited about that.
Okay, and then last week, I know at the LRC, we had a really big day on Thursday. My days are getting mixed up.
It's going too fast.
It is. It's going really quickly. But with the foundation.
Yes.
And what
Wasn't it exciting?
Yeah.
They give so much to our teachers. We were talking about it. They gave every building, 26 buildings, a $10,000 check. That's $260,000. They awarded over $200,000 in grants. If you put in, we know that we got a new pig barn, hog barn out at the ag farm, school farm. And they put in more than that. So it's over $500,000 that's been spent of their money on kids and improving education in the first semester.
That's
a lot of money. They support our teachers, and it's exciting. And one thing that's really exciting to me is they talk about how innovative the grants are now, how exciting it is to see some of the innovating things. So a big shout out to our teachers for getting, you know, being more entrepreneurship, more innovative, and trying to do things to interest kids and kind of be that hook for them.
Well, and the name of the grant, just so you know, if you're out in the community, it's the Leave a Legacy grant.
Leave a Legacy.
So it's something that we're excited to do. We will definitely share out what that is when the schools start purchasing.
Yes, that's going to be
items.
fun to see what they do. I mean, $10,000 to some of our really small schools is a lot. It's not as much, you know, to some of the larger or more schools with more students in it, but it's going to be exciting to see what they choose to do with that money and the difference it can make.
And then tomorrow, for our teachers that did apply, they will have their board out there granting the awards. So pay attention to our social media. We'll have some more information.
Tomorrow.
Yes. Now, we're talking about the academies, the pathways. You mentioned the new pig barn that's out there at the school farm. That was fun to see them transition the hogs over and getting them in there. The parade of pigs.
They had their big calf fry. Had like twice as many people there this year.
They had the calf fry.
Yeah, they do on Saturday night. It was awesome. I saw some pictures of it. It was really great.
And we have concurrent enrollment as well. That's students are gearing up to enroll.
And they're free.
They are free.
Free
Explain
college.
again what that means.
Free college means free. We pay all the tuition, we pay your fees, and we buy your books.
And we have the classes here at the LRC.
And all the classes are here.
And then let's see, we had a big win last night. Was it
Friday
with MacArthur?
MacArthur,
so the playoffs are happening again.
MacArthur district champions. They won at Bishop McGinnis 2 weeks ago. Big win there, and they won by enough points to capture the district championship. Congratulations to MacArthur, because district championships are huge. That means they got to host a playoff game. They did host it at MacArthur on the hill, as they're calling it, or at the hill. And so they won the first round, and now they're playing in the second round, and they will play, I believe, Dell City Friday night, and they're going to play on the hill again.
And then just exciting. A reminder about the passes, too, because we
you got to understand, it always gets confusing because our students and our teachers and staff, playoff games are OSSAA games, because the OSSAA creates the playoffs. So your passes don't get you in unless you have an OSSAA pass. So your teacher pass, student pass, and so everyone has to pay to get in, and you have to go on, I believe it's GoFan, the app, and get you a ticket.
It's cheaper online.
It's cheaper online. Go get you an app and scan your way in.
And then I was going to say, watching it and being out there in that environment, it's good that our concession stands are up and running. And then using the credit card, cashless is
and
helpful.
That's big, and some people don't like it, but if you go for years, if you go to a Thunder game or an OU game, those places are cashless anymore. You cannot use cash, and that's where schools are headed. We'll be cashless, where you'll use your credit card or whatever to pay for your Apple Pay or however you pay to pay at the concession stand. It makes things move faster. We're not counting change, and it also gets cash out of the concession stand.
There you go. Big things happening.
And we're excited about that. We're excited about our stadium. One thing we learned, again, that's the third game at MAC this year. We've had one at Eisenhower. Lawton didn't get to have one, although
the cables are there.
Pads there, bleachers will be going up. I believe they're going to put the bleachers on after Thanksgiving. So they'll have their bleachers. They'll be ready for next year to host.
And ready for soccer.
Soccer
will be going on.
And we learn we learn where we need lights, because we're going to put lights in. We've been adding sidewalks to MacArthur because they've had enough games. But as we go, we're learning what we need to do to make it better.
Yes.
And we talk about parking at MacArthur. That will get better because they're going to build the complex just across the creek, but they're going to put some bridges where you can walk over to the MacArthur, so it'll be a little bit of a walk.
And then even at Eisenhower, we're talking about what
everybody gets excited. A lot of people listen to this will be at Norman Friday, and they're going to park at Lloyd Noble and walk, and it's a mile or a half a mile. You go to some games, you're used to walking. So we try to make it handicap accessibility.
As we've done more
we
of
talked
our
before, unless you're
yes.
handicapped, where you're in a wheelchair, you think you know, but you don't know.
Right.
So as people give us information, and that's why we have info at lawtonps.org. Send information about things you want us to do to improve that and make that a better environment. The kids love it, from everything I'm hearing. The fans love it to get to play there. And
the atmosphere.
The atmosphere. And I'm hearing they're going to want to play more and more games there in the future just because of the atmosphere. So I'm really excited about that. And so we need to make it we want to make it a great experience for everyone involved.
Correct. And and you did mention about the info, but we did have an email that asked about the handicap accessibility. So as we continue to grow and expand in our areas and facilities, that is always
the bleachers have handicap accessibility,
right.
But getting out of the parking lot into the stadium, nobody ever built that part of it, because it was always just a practice facility. It wasn't a game facility, and it's kind of we'll have all the soccer games there at all three sites this year. So there will be all soccer will be played on the home sites. And so that's exciting. So again, even for the soccer fans, because we played soccer there last year, and some of the things, they just went with it instead of telling us. So let us know if there's
our buildings weren't actually complete yet either. So we were under construction.
We're going to add some more parking and things like that at different places. So we're excited. And lights, we bought some portable lights to help us, because until you know and do it and you're there at dark, you're like, oh, where do we need lights? We're learning as we go.
That's it. Now, we have a big focus this year, and I know you have been working on increasing test scores and using that data and talking about what that looks like. And even in our Superintendent Student Advisory Council, they mentioned ACT prep and ASVAB prep let's share some
and
information.
we have, and we don't use it enough, or we don't sell it enough to our students and even our staff. But on Ed Minimum courseware, what we call courseware, there are programs that are ACT prep and ASVAB prep. We also have PSAT prep, and a Study Island also has those. So we have some of those places, and those are some of the things that advisory flex SL period that we've named 3. Those are good for students can do those things during that period besides eat breakfast. So that's part of it. So hopefully we get that information out and we get it used. And also I know that we're shopping for like the Chad Cargills and the different people who do ACT prep to groups of people just to come in and talk not only to our students but to our teachers. If we can get all of our teachers trained, then they can help our students. So we need to work hard on our ACT scores. And one of the problems you have is students who aren't going to college sometimes don't try as hard, and that's why we're going to, the new state superintendent back to there, they're talking about going back to some work keys, which is getting your certification in career tech or even your ASVAB scores. Some of those tests that matter more to those students. To a student's going to the military, the ASVAB test
is more important.
So they try harder, and I understand, you're a junior in high school, you know what you're going to do, and it doesn't include college. That ACT test doesn't mean anything to you. It's hard to put that time and effort in that we need you to, but we really need our students to, and so we're going to try to improve that prep for it.
And including that military pathway
yes,
too.
all of our, because again, 3 E's,
yes.
Enrollment, employed, enlisted. We would like to improve all 3 of those for our students. We really think our internships, our career pathways, our workforce development is going to help with our employment side of it, because we've got to preach, and we talk about it a lot. Employment means gainfully employed, a job that you can be 40 and have a couple kids and a wife, and you can afford a house and a car and go on vacations and things like that. And that's our goal.
Well, we're excited about all the things that are happening next week. Just as a friendly reminder, we are out for the whole week for Thanksgiving break. And then we have 3 more weeks, you guys, before Christmas break, winter break. That's it.
Good shout out to our teachers. Because guess what? I think Wednesday?
That's it. Yay. The bonus from the board.
Yes, good job. Shout out to our Board of Education for approving that. And Wednesday, those go out. And we're always excited about that for our staff. Right around the time, we try to time it with, although they moved it up a week.
Right.
We try to time it with Black Friday when things are on sale so their money goes further and they can shop for Christmas and hopefully...
just make it a happy holiday.
It makes a great holiday for everyone. That's the goal, is to make sure our staff has a great holiday, because,
they work very
today
hard.
We're going to hear the state superintendent, and he's going to talk about retention and trying to retain. It's one thing we do at Lawton Public Schools, our board does. We want our teachers to have a reason to stay here, and one of those reasons we know is that bonus they give, because it's such a great, you've got kids at home. It doesn't go far, but it goes fast.
It is. Yep, and kids always need something.
Yes.
So that's it. But thank you guys for that, to our board. Mr. Hime, remind them of our website where they can find all the latest information.
And there's a little deal down the corner, little happy face for a cloud. It's Firm app, where you can search on there. So make sure you can go down to the Firm app and search. And if you can't find it or it doesn't come up like you want, again, lawtonps.org or info at lawtonps.org. Email us and let us know. We always say we can't fix it if we don't know it's broke. It's kind of an old saying we have, y'all are going to miss my sayings.
It's coming. I was just about to say it in my head.
Can't put a fire out if you don't know the fire. So help us fix the things we need to fix, because our goal is you don't have to be bad to get better.
There you go.
Do them all in one go.
I knew it.
So thank you guys for being here today.
Yes, and until next week, or actually the week after, you guys have a happy
December next
Thanksgiving.
time we see them, right?
That's it, and we'll have some students on for this then. For that one.
Awesome.
All right. You guys be well, stay safe, make positive impacts, and happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next time.